Hello everybody, I hope you're going well. Today I'm just going to analyze the game that I played against the Candidate Master on Lichess. This Candidate Master is named Taboelias 1. This is a pretty known Candidate Master on Lichess, but in every case, before I analyze the game, don't forget to subscribe in order not to miss my future upload. So in every case, I played with the white pieces, and I played knight f3. He played g6, g3, bishop g7, bishop g2, e5. So actually e5 is a pretty interesting move. I think because I'm not having the FM on lichess, he's thinking that I'm just a random chess player. But okay, if I've it's not so accurate because of the bishop that is already blocked. I played d3, the type of structure of kings in the defense. He played d6, castles, knight d7. Knight d7 is again pretty strange. Just play knight f6, then you're going to play a type of position where you're not having a typical theoretical line, but in every case everything is good. So knight d7, c4 in order to control the central squares, and if he's trying to push d5, I will just trade, and trading a side pawn for a central pawn is always good for the side that traded the side pawn. So he castled, I played knight c3, knight c6, just a standard position in which we are developing our pieces. My plan is pretty simple with my bishop on c1. If he's playing f5, I will just put my bishop there in order to trade because the light squares are pretty weak. So if he wants to attack me on the light squares, on the black squares, I mean with f5, f5, f4, for example, I will just trade my black square bishop for his knight, because the knight can play on both colors. So I will just play on the light squares by trading my black square bishop. So I play a3 in order to prevent f5 with bishop there, but at the same time I just want to play b4. He played h6. It is a pretty cool trap, because if I'm playing this, he's already winning with e4. I cannot trade there because he's just winning there, and if I go back, he has to go there, for example. And okay, the position is just completely losing. In every case, I'm not stupid. I played queen c2 in order to develop my queen, and then I'm going to push d4. Probably e3 was better, with the idea that after before this, probably I can just go there and everything is fine. But okay, I played queen c2, he played bishop e6, just normal developing moves, and let's go b4. The idea of b4 is pretty simple. He's going to play queen d7, f5, f4 in order to attack my king and all the squares around my king. So I just want to attack the queen side with my bishop on g2 that is quite strong, and the rook which is going to go on b1. He played queen d7, so standard plan. I played b5. The idea of b5 is pretty simple. I just want to attack on this side of the board, and attacking is it's not a complicated thing. Just keep in mind that at the moment where a pawn that is controlling two squares is attacking another pawn, for example, this is also an attack, a pretty dubious one, but this is still an attack. This is already an attack because you have controlled this everything. If I go there, for example, I will attack the knight and attack the c7 square. It's going to be a pretty dubious move because he would just win a pawn without any compensation, but this is still an attack. So he played knight d4, and knight d4 is probably a mistake, I'd like to say, because you don't have any plans, and after a trade on d4, I will just go on e4, and right now your bishop is blocked by the pawn. So actually you give me some counterplay, because right now I will just put the bishop there, rotate my knight, and attack the central pawn that is pretty weak, I'd like to say. But here he made a mistake, and for me this is already a pretty tough mistake. He played f5, so probably the engine is going to say that everything is equal, but it's not. So the idea is pretty easy to understand. He wants to play e4, f4, I mean. But you see, he made a practical mistake and a chess mistake. The practical mistake is to take, I don't know, probably he played this move in 2 minutes. It does actually mean that he was looking for every possible moves that are just completely losing, but not at this move. And this is actually the only move that you are calculating. So f5 this, and then he took again probably 13 seconds to play c6. Okay, the idea is pretty simple. If I'm not trading, he just want to go there and everything is correct. But I traded, he took back, and I played knight f3. The idea is to touch the pawn, and at the same time I'm just going to go there and trying to attack you as good as I can attack. And for me, the game is already over after the move d5. So d5, d5. d5. The idea of d5 is pretty simple. What is going on if I take? Then he's just completely winning with the knight there. For example, the bishop is too strong. The second bishop is going to be very strong because of the knight that is going on c3. And actually I can defend so good. I have to play this move, for example, but after c5, even though he's opening up, he's going to push c4 and then destroy me completely. So actually for me the position is already losing, but I'm not taking. This is pretty clear to understand. I am playing the very strong strategical move c5. The idea of c5 is pretty simple. You put it on your pawns on the light squares, so it does actually mean that your light square bishop is blocked. And because of the pawn on e5, your black square bishop is also blocked. And you see your knight could go on d5. So not straight away because of the c4 pawn. But now you cannot go anywhere with your knight, so you have to come back with the knight, but you're still blocked because of the c5 pawn. So you see, this one pawn on c5 is blocking two bishops and the knight. So it does actually mean that I told him that he's not able to play anything. And here he took some time and he played a mistake actually. He took 3 minutes to play rook b8, and rook b8 is a strategical mistake. Probably starting to attack my king was completely bad, was good enough, like g5 in order to play g4, but then bishop b2, I'm winning the pawn, and this is not a problem because I'm just taking there. And even though right now the position is open, for my bishop and not my opponent bishops. So he probably has to play f4, then I'm just trading this bishop h3 in order to attack, but knight f3, and okay, we're going to trade some pieces, and the position is completely fine because of the knight h4 move that is just completely blocking my opponent. So the position is completely fine for me. But my opponent decided to play rook b8, and this is just a strategical mistake, and up to this point the position is strategically completely winning for me. I played bishop f4, winning a tempo on the rook, and you can see that all the black squares are weak because of the c5 pawn. So he played rook b7, probably rook e8 was better in order to find some counterplay on my e2 pawn. I didn't saw rook b7. For me this was the only move. But okay, so I decided to play rook b1. He played g5 in order to attack the bishop, so I traded. He has to take back because I'm attacking the queen. Rook b1, queen a6, and here bishop d6. And the position is completely fine for me. Actually, I'm completely winning, I'd like to say, because of the knight that is just too dubious, the bishop that is blocked by his own pawn, and this bishop who does not have any square. And even if the bishop can go there, for example, then it is still blocked by the d3 pawn. So actually he has nothing to play. He played rook e8, and now I made a misclick. Actually, I wanted to play queen b2, and wait, I have to come back. Actually, I analyzed 3 moves. I analyzed this move, which is the move that I played, knight e4, and queen b2. So the idea of knight d4 was actually to trade and take there, but he does not have to take there, and even though I'm taking there, he can take here first, so I'm not so good anymore, and he's just a pawn up, and this is a passed pawn. So even though the bishops aren't so good anymore, we are going to play on open files, and it's going to be very tough, and f4 is coming. No. So actually after he takes there, for example, I have to play rook there, for example, in order to find some counterplay. But after knight c8, I don't feel like the position is going to be good. Like the only move is already f4. Wow, this is the only move. So no, actually knight d4 wasn't good. I also looked at queen b2 queen b2 in order to go on b7 and just completely crush my opponent. This was the best move. But I started to look at the position, and I was like, oh, probably, I was starting to do some arrows in order to think a bit. This is just a stupid reflex that I just get it from all the live stream that I'm doing. During the live streams, when I'm playing all these classical games, I'm always showing what I'm thinking with the arrows. and this is actually a mistake, and I wanted to play bishop there in order to analyze, but I played this move. And okay, this is a mistake, but I'm still completely fine, and the position is still completely winning for me. But I have to be very precise right now. Actually, I have a very cool move to show you. After queen b2, for example, and knight c8, do you see the winning move? And this is a 3000 elo tactical line, and I'm just going to show the position to my friends, and I will see if they are finding the solution. Actually, I'm going to show you right now, so pause the video and try to think. Yes, right now I'm showing you the position. Actually, the winning move is bishop e5. I'm threatening the pawn, and for example, you go there. I'm just playing bishop takes, and everything is correct. But wait, I saw another line. Yeah, queen b3, this, and g4, and g4. And the problem with g4 is that after I move the knight, he can just take there. But the winning line is bishop takes g7. He takes on f3, and right now I am taking on d4. And after he takes on g2, there is only one move that is winning in this position. You can pause the video again. The only move that is winning is queen b8. If I go there, in order to play queen there and starting to mate me, there is d4. And after queen b2, for example, queen a4, and I cannot attack the king anymore. So I have to play something like this, for example. But after f4, queen takes, then I don't know, probably queen c2, and he has enough counterplay. But yeah, so this is actually the only move. h5 this, and this is unstoppable mate, so he has to go on f7, but then after queen e5 I'm threatening mate, this move for example, then queen f6, this, I'm just completely crushing my opponent, king f8, and then taking there. Or this move in order to win, and this is completely crushing. So you see, chess is pretty beautiful. But let's come back during the game. I played bishop d4, that is actually a misclick, and he played g4 actually. Probably the best move was actually taking, and I'm not having so much counterplay as I had, but okay. He played g4, and here I saw a pretty interesting line. I saw that if I'm just taking there or there, I'm just going to lose because the position will be open. I decided to play with the compensation. I took on g7. If he's taking there, then I'm just taking here, I'm just completely winning. So he has to take on f3, and I cannot take back because he's taking on g7. So I have to play bishop takes h6, f takes g2, and now queen d2. Queen d2 is actually already a threat. And you see the knight is still blocked by the pawn. The bishop is still blocked, and the king is not safe because all the black squares around the king are weak. I analyzed this variation, queen g5, and after you play rook j8, it's the only move in order not to get mated. I take there, you take there, I'm taking there, so you have to go there, for example, and probably queen takes, and this is just completely winning. Like, I have 1000 pawns. Like, this is completely winning, and after you take there, for example, I have this move. This is completely losing. But okay. He played king f7, which I saw, and here I was like, yeah, but I have to find the winning move. I was pretty precise. I played queen g5. Queen f4 is the same as queen g5, and the idea is to threaten mate. And after you play rook g8, for example, I have queen f4 with the idea of putting the rooks there, then trading, and then I'm just going to attack on the black squares. And this is actually the best line. But my opponent decided to play queen takes a3, and actually you can already understand why this is a bad move. Here the queen was controlling the b7 square, which was pretty good. I mean, the rook is not involved in the attack, so it's going to be harder for me. But he took on a3, so rook b7, and right now the position is completely crushing because I am already threatening bishop there or queen there. So he took on c5, and now bishop g5. I'm threatening the knight. I just looked at this position, and I really thought, yeah, this is losing for me. Oh wait, it's not, because I am just going to mate you. You go there, this, and then queen h7 check. You go on f8, and for example h4, and you're going to lose because I am just quicker than you. And for example h7, a1 queen, this, and you cannot stop. the queen. It's pretty funny. It could be very cool if the game was ended like this. But okay, he played queen c7, I played bishop g5, and here he decided to play rook e8. And rook e8 is completely losing after the move queen h4, and the reason why it is losing is because I'm threatening mate in 2. So he played bishop c8, and now I saw the mate in 10 moves. I saw this completely. Queen h7 check. You have to go up, and now queen check. If you go this way, this is mate, or this is quite mate, because okay, or f4 is mate. Pretty cool to mate like this. But let's say you go, for example, you cannot go anywhere. If you do this is still mate. So you have to go on f7, and now not queen h7 check and repeating the moves, but queen f6 check. Right now you have only one square, so you go there, and here the only move that is winning is bishop h6. The reason why it is winning is because my opponent doesn't have any counterplay, and this is not possible because queen takes bishop. I can even take on g2, take on g2, this is still winning. Still winning, but there is no need to play like this, like just taking there, I'm just going back. And even though the pawn is on g2, the pawn is not protected, there is no rook on the first rank, so it is completely winning for me. So after bishop h6, he resigned, and I just won the game pretty easily. So I'm just going to show you the game again from the beginning. So let's just start. Knight f3, g6, and you see the reason why playing chess is so cool is because even though my opponent is pretty high rated, I managed to win pretty easily just by playing some normal moves. And even though I'm not so familiar with the position with the pawn on e5 and the pawn on d6, if you're just thinking correctly and if you're not afraid of anything, you can just play some great positions. Yeah, it is what it is. And here, for example, just taking, if you're taking with the knight, for example, this is just a nightmare because after knight b3, for example, I would just push c5, open up the position, and then your d pawn that is isolated is just too weak, and the black squares are going to be weak. So we can go on. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it is what it is. So please go further, cannot go further, or what is going on. Yeah, in every case, I hope you enjoyed this small game. If you don't want to miss my future live streams in which I'm playing against masters, grandmaster, and so on, just subscribe to the channel. Don't forget to activate the notification button. In every case, see you in a future upload. I'm just waiting till the end of the game. Oh, this is pretty cool. Oh yeah, I forgot to tell you something. I am going to play a chess tournament in France again, and I hope I won't play against any cheaters this time. And I'm going to do some chess recaps actually when the tournament will end and not during the tournament. But okay, see you in the future upload. Take care.